Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be reacting to How to Run Faster for Longer by Nick Bare. Let's check it out.
If you ever watch them take off, you probably have. The other guys are way off front. And pretty soon, they start slowing down. And the older guys pace themselves, and they finally pass them up. There's a thing there called endurance. It takes years to build.
The day before I ran the Leadville 100 Ultra Marathon, I came across him on the course. And he told me that the secret to finishing that race was this thing called endurance. I realized, more so in retrospect, that he was trying to tell me something greater than just finishing a 100-mile ultra marathon race. Endurance is enduring the process. It's being patient. It's being consistent. It's putting in the work in delayed gratification for the result that's to come down the road. Now, I could talk about how endurance is applicable to all parts of our life, but today we're talking about how to apply endurance to become faster for longer periods of time.
Day one.
Hard work, man.
Fucking PR bell, baby.
That's awesome.
Tip number one, increase weekly volume. Now, volume can be either mileage or time on feet. There's a rule of thumb that you don't want to increase weekly mileage more than 10% from week to week. The reason we do this is because we want our body to acclimate to the stimulus that we're providing it, but it also helps to mitigate the risk of injury or overuse so that you can kind of gradually build into this increased volume. For a lot of runners, myself included, yes, my breathing will hold me back. My VO2 max will hold me back after a certain point.
The thing for me is I haven't gotten to that point yet. For me, it's more of a body thing. For me, it's more of my legs. My legs are weak when it comes to running. I have been doing weight training for years and have never ran like that. Never passed 5 miles. So around that 3-mile mark, my legs, my feet actually feel like they're about to explode. Like they're pumped up with blood. And my legs, especially my calf, hurts crazy. And it's not much of a cardio-based problem. It's more of my body's not used to the output.
But what ends up breaking me off during these bigger workouts or races is that my legs end up fatiguing first. One of the ways that we train our legs to handle and manage fatigue is by increasing training volume over a long extended period of time. This is progressive overload. I also like to think of increased training volume as base building. I instantly think of zone 2, zone 3, these low and slow miles. Now about 80%, and I've talked about this many times before, but about 80% of our running to improve should be done in this aerobic base building zone. The MAF 180 formula. So you take 180, you subtract your age, and the number that equation provides you, that should be your max aerobic heart rate. Meaning when you go out and do your nice, easy base building runs throughout the week, your heart rate should be below that max aerobic heart rate number. And if you're running below that max aerobic heart rate number, you are training in an aerobic zone. That's base building. And you will do this for as long as you run. Tip number 2 is all about proper fueling and nutrition. If you followed my content the last couple of weeks and months, you've probably realized and seen that I've hammered in proper nutrition and fueling time and time again.
So important.
That looks cool. Mix this up. Nutrition and fueling throughout the day, throughout training blocks, and specifically around workouts, that is one thing that we can control, and it can make such a massive difference in your performance and your recovery. So staying on top of your water consumption, your electrolyte intake, but also carbohydrates. Now, as an endurance athlete, carbohydrates will become your best friend so that your glycogen levels are topped off. Glycogen is the way that your muscles and your liver store carbohydrates, and your body can tap into glycogen pretty easily to use as energy while training. And we do this by consuming the right amount of carbs, the right type of carbs, on a frequent and regular basis. And then using water, electrolytes, and carbohydrates around training. Now, the amount of electrolytes and the amount of carbohydrates that you need to consume on a daily basis, that is very unique and specific to the individual. But where I would recommend starting is testing and adding more onto what you're currently doing. In the current training block that I'm in for my marathon, I would argue that it's in the best running shape of my life, and it's been the most successful and effective build that I've ever done for an endurance race. It's actually increased the amount of food and specifically carbohydrates I've been consuming during the training block, the day, and around training sessions, workouts, and just every run. Try increasing the amount of electrolytes you're consuming. Try increasing the amount of carbohydrates you're consuming throughout the day.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to do that whenever you're trying to cut. I am in a 400 calorie deficit, and it's kind of hard for me to increase my carbs because carbs carry a lot more calories, and I still need my protein, because I'm trying to keep the muscle from the gym because I'm still weightlifting while I'm trying to run. But it's good for your muscles, it's good for your recovery, and I know I should be doing it.
Also, before your workouts and during your workouts, you won't know the result unless you try and then refine and see what works best for your performance. My third tip is to incorporate some type of speed work. The way that I think of speed work is really it's anything other than these low, easy aerobic base building runs. And the way my training is set up right now is every Wednesday I have a speed workout day. And that rotates between critical velocity and lactate threshold. So say week 1, I'm on the track. Week 2, I'm on the road. This morning, for example, was a 14.5 mile workout. And if I had a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being easy, 10 being very, very, very challenging, I would say my workout today, it was between a 7 and 8. Now, the adaptation that we're experiencing during lactate threshold training is that as we're training at this intensity, at this pace, lactate is being produced and it's accumulating in the blood faster than we can actually clear it. And this creates fatigue. This is where you start feeling tired. Your legs are heavy. You want to stop. You want to slow down. But running through that is going to have such massive benefits for your running ability. You want to experience controlled discomfort. This is one thing that can unlock huge potential to your running success and unlock an ability to become faster for longer. My fourth tip is optimal body composition. And I'm going to provide just an example of what I experienced during a big training block so that this kind of sets the stage for what I'm about to talk about. I love strength training. I loved going to the gym. I loved throwing iron around, getting pumped, and getting bigger and stronger. I also love running. And I love this hybrid approach and method that blends the two.
Yeah, this dude is absolutely jacked, bro. And he runs crazy miles. Like, this is the level that I'm trying to get to, and I'm trying to become a hybrid athlete, so I'm listening to the right guy.
Of endurance and size and strength together. But right now, in this season and chapter of life that I'm in, my prioritized goal is this marathon. So I've reduced my volume and intensity and time of strength training, and I've allocated my fitness time to running because that is the goal. And what I'm experiencing from a body composition perspective is that I'm, yes, losing size, I'm losing strength, but I'm okay with that because my goal is a faster marathon. So one of the ways that we achieve optimal body composition for a goal, and as we're talking about now, endurance, a lot of the time what's going to happen is your body composition will naturally change as you spend more time on goals that are aligned with the outcome you're trying to achieve. And it's really important to fuel properly for your training. But at the same time, we want to have an optimal body composition. I have a diet traditionally that's higher in fat, it's moderate carb, and protein is always very consistent. I'm always consuming about 225 to 250 grams of protein a day. I love protein and the effects on the body. Now that I'm in this big endurance training block,
Carbs
volume and intensity is increasing to provide and create an adaptation to get faster and be able to run faster for longer. I've changed up my diet a little bit. By maintaining an appropriate amount of calories, protein has stayed consistent. I've increased my carbohydrate intake, but I've decreased my dietary fat intake. And I'll be honest, I like fatty foods. But right now, based off my goals and the body composition that I want to achieve, I've made the decision and choice to decrease dietary fat because I know fat is more calorically dense than carbohydrates. And my body is going to want to use carbohydrates more than it uses fat. Now, fat is still my diet. We need fat for a lot of bodily processes and hormone regulation.
Right.
But carbs for me right now are the priority. These are some of the ways that I'm thinking about my diet and my training to facilitate body composition goals that are aligned with the outcome I want to and need to achieve. Endure the process. And this is not just applicable to endurance training, but life. This goes back to, in the beginning of the video, showing the man in Leadville, Colorado, telling me, this wise old man who has experienced so many different seasons and chapters of life, and telling me the secret is this thing called endurance. Endurance is so much more than running a race. Endurance is forged over time with wisdom. I'm not seeing these massive adaptations and growth and changes overnight, or even week to week, or maybe not even month to month. But if I look back at my running journey over these last couple years, I've started at a 4-hour and 15-minute marathon, and now I'm chasing a goal of sub 245.
That's crazy.
The only way I've gotten there is through patience, consistency, and enduring the process. Might not be easy, and it might not come quick, but if you truly endure the process and you are committed to that journey, you will see massive results over a long period of time. That's endurance.
Dude. Absolute banger, dude. I needed to hear that because he breaks it down like, when it comes to running, it's you against yourself. And it's so easy to just give your all in a couple runs and then quit and become inconsistent. But you must really go through that pain and start at zero and work your way up, bro. There's no other way around it. And this guy's legit, man. This is a pretty older video, but I feel like I needed to hear this, and I needed to see a video that would teach me. And because I'm running a half marathon for the first time in my life. As a kid that had asthma and couldn't breathe and couldn't run past half a mile his whole life. And I put that goal, and I'm working towards it every day. And I'm also trying to stay in shape for the gym. So this guy's pretty legit, man. I'm not gonna lie. If there's one person I could probably listen to, it would be this guy. Shout out to Nick Bear. And yeah, if you like this video and you're going through your own fitness journey or through your own running journey, just give me a like and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you. Have a good one.